So, been made a few changes in terms of my work activities and filmmaking journey. Like I bought this M1 MacBook Pro to deal with this A7SIII's 4K HS footages. Bought a tilde cage for the S3 so I can attach more stuff than ever. Got this new light and got my camera, a V60 card. So 240 FPS. Unless you see a footage slowed down to 24 frames per second from 240 FPS, you will literally not believe how much you would need in your filmmaking game. Well, maybe not much, but if you're like me, doing B-roll and doing a lot of speed ramps, playing with slow and fast motions a lot, being able to slow down 10 times from being able to slow 5 times with 120 FPS, what we used to get, is a big deal. The very first time I saw 240 FPS in a camera was an iPhone. Despite having a smaller sensor, the slow motion was usually very noisy because 240 FPS needs higher shutter speed and all that. Footages I got were slow, but was not up to the mark. And being a camera so good with low light capabilities and ISO sensitivity, working with slow motion were never this fun without this camera. Well, with or without? With this camera, we all know, we've been there, that we need so much expensive cards, especially Sony released CF Express A-type cards which are super expensive, as this camera provides a lot of bit rates in a lot of codecs and whatnot in higher bit rates. Sony has a huge chart in their site saying what type of card you need to record what bit rate, and in the chart I saw that you need at least a V90 card to record 240 FPS HD in slow motion, or a CF Express card, which is again super expensive. And I don't know about you, I didn't have a lot of money playing around after buying this and the Mac. So I ordered myself a Sony TUF V60 card which is 128 gigabytes and thought I would stay out of the 240 game and will later upgrade to a V90 card or something like that. But in some recent forums I saw people owning V90 cards complaining about they still can't get 240 FPS slow motion in their camera, and only the CF Express owners are getting it. And so I was totally drawn away because I would need a CF Express card to record and get the full flexibility out of this camera. And so I was tweaking around with my V60 card and find out this. You can find 240 FPS only in S&Q mode. Whenever I set the shooting FPS to 240 FPS and recording FPS to 24, it shows a dialog that you cannot do it, you only need VPG 2000 and whatnot. It asked for CF Express card. So I did one thing, that is I kept the shooting speed 240 FPS and I dialed the recording speed to 60 FPS, and it didn't say anything. It was able to record 240 FPS shutter in 60 FPS internal in camera. So I was getting 60 FPS slow motion footages out of 240 FPS, which makes a 4 times slowed down 60 FPS footage. And when I took the 60 frames per second footage to an NLE and interpreted it to 24 FPS, I was getting 10 times slower footages, exactly what I'd get from a 240 FPS to 24 FPS timeline. Although it will record in a 50 megabit per second for 2 to 10 bit, you're getting 10 bit with it too. This was literally game changer to me. Using a V60 card, being able to record 240 FPS, I have to go through another step to get the slow motion, but I'm totally okay with it. I'm usually okay with recording in normal frames per second in higher FPS and slowing it down later because I can't get the audio, and in S&K mode I usually can't get any audio. And with this camera, the memory card game was so high and so competitive that you usually have to get higher capacity, higher speed memory card, which are super expensive usually. Being able to do this, I think I'll be better off with this V60 card, because I can basically record all the codecs but the SI all intercodec, and that is basically the same codec as A7SIII, just in uncompressed format, which is usually better for your computer to process. And so that's it. That's all for today. I hope this 5-minute talk, let's make this a thing. But it'll be cool if I upload 5-minute talks every day, every week. Hope I'll see you in another 5-minute talks in another video. Until then, I'm Raj signing out. Love you guys. Bye.